my Instagram.
Only follow her if you are single.
Okay.
Or open relationship.
No.
Open marriage?
No.
Okay, only single.
Only
Only
single,
single. Yeah. Monogamous single.
Yeah. We will work it out. Just like, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? This is It's Mental Podcast. Today we have a special guest, Julieta.
Yeah, you said it right. You said my name right. Incredible. Wow. It's like we didn't rehearse this.
At all.
At all. Yes, hi, I'm Julieta. Thanks for having me. Before we start this, we had a lovely dinner. Thank you so much for the dinner. Dinners are nice.
I think this is my culture. Someone come to my house, I offer food. You don't live with an empty stomach. I wish some German people can understand this.
Yeah, I wish Germans get it.
Yeah, get it.
Comfort food. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Germans. Anyway, so
yes.
So what do you do in Berlin?
I don't know.
Are you a comedian?
I think I am a comedian. Yes, you're right. That's why I'm here. I'm a comedian. I'm funny.
Wow, cool. So where are you from?
I'm from Argentina. I'm originally from Buenos Aires. I've been living in Germany for 8 years. I speak German, but don't try me. And yeah, I started doing comedy here. How is the image? Is it blurry? I mean, you see me?
Yeah, let's just pretend it's okay.
No.
If it's not okay, I just let it be.
Okay, cool.
It's meant to be.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I lived like 26 years in Argentina, and then I moved straight away to Berlin.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a difference.
What brought you to Berlin?
So I met a dude.
Typical story.
Yeah, typical story. It's kind of annoying because I wish, like, I changed the story, like, with time because it's, I mean, yeah, I met a guy or anything, but to be honest, like, I wanted to leave my country. I wanted to, like, see something else. So it makes sense. Like, if I didn't want to leave, I would have just not go because of a guy.
Yeah.
I want to think that. I want to think that I'm so independent. But I don't, yeah. So I moved because of him. And then I stayed because of me, I guess. And now I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so this podcast is about mental health. So do you mind to tell our audience what's your relationship with this topic?
It would be funny if I'm like, yeah, I mind. I'm going to go now. I'm just yeah, I am mental health. So I feel like I don't know how it's for other expats, but I feel like being an immigrant, because that's a real name. Expat is just like a fancy name that we use. It's like, it sounds, but immigrant is like the real one. I do feel like there's a lot of nostalgia about like living abroad or whatever. Also, like, but when I go to my countries, like the nostalgia is kind of gone because my country is very particular, so everything's so difficult there. I do remember one time I was in Argentina, and I think I had like a very like my job was shit or whatever. And I remember I was like walking around and I couldn't remember where I was. I think I was like having I was like crashing mentally, but I was like, but the weather is nice, so it's like I was lost, and I was like, where am I? Like I don't know, but I'm getting a tan, so it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, I remember that happening, but I think I got very stressed when I moved. I think. Like I'm a very antsy person, and I feel like I was raised to be very antsy because it's like dangerous back then, but like back home, so you always have to be very careful. But it's just like your mind is like in a state that it's like you have to like.
I totally can relate to that. Like we don't call it anxious, but it's just how it operates in the society. People are always stressed. Like there's so much competition. Since kindergarten, you compete with others, and then school, university, society. Then finally, you have a job. Then you need to think about getting real estate and a car and getting children, and the whole life.
How do you get the children? Where are the children? Where are the children?
from the belly button. So anyway, I totally can understand. Like in China, like there's constant worry at any age. There's not even a moment to say, oh, it's the time to enjoy yourself.
that doesn't happen. You're like always worried about getting a job or whatever. And when I moved here, it was a bit better, that part, but I did had like a little meltdown 5 years ago, and I was like, everything was changing in my life, which is not good when you're like an antsy person, because I hate change. I admire people that are like, I want to change my job. Oh,
Maybe that's better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like
it. I really admire people that are like, I want to change my job, even though like the job is fine. They're like, I want to do some, and I want to move like in a different house, and I'm like, I don't do that unless I really have to, because it makes me so anxious. So I was in this time 5 years ago where like I didn't have a job, like my roommate wanted to leave the flat, and I didn't I didn't have money to pay for the whole flat, so I was like, I didn't know what to do. And then my boyfriend, we were breaking up, so like everything together, and I was like, I think I'm having a lot of panic attacks. So I stopped like eating a lot, and then I lost like 6 kilos or something, which is like not.
For you, it's a lot.
It's because I'm so fit.
No. Oh yeah, you are fit too.
Thanks. They don't. Yeah, I'm very skinny. Anyway, and it's funny. So and I was like, but I don't know. In my life, it's always like these moments that are so weird, and then I end up visiting my family in the US, because that's where they live. And I was like, I feel like a dream. Like I was like, oh, I don't know, whatever. And then I end up in the States, and when my sister saw me, she's not very good at communicating, but she saw me, she was like, oh, she's not okay. She's like, let's go and have a burger. And I was like, okay, I guess this is therapy now. And then I was in Miami with my mom, which is like I was having like this like weird trip, and then my mom was like, you're fine, you don't have problems, because that's how she is. And then I came back, and then I found a job, and like everything kind of, but I freaked out a lot. And that happens if like a lot of things change at the same time. That happens to me. So I don't like change. but life is all about change, and it's like, right?
Yeah, when you say you have panic attack, how it feels like? What symptoms you have?
Well, I was like in the shopping mall. I don't know if because I was in the shopping mall in a ring center. And that's when I started. I was like, like your heart is like beating really fast, and then you're like, I don't know. And they tell you, this is a fun fact about panic attacks. They tell you that you should call your friends maybe, or like someone that is not your ex-partner or whatever, because if they don't pick up, or like they're shitty, because that's how they are, it will make you more anxious.
But real life advice: never call your ex.
Never call your ex.
Never call your ex.
Unless no, seriously, never.
Never.
God damn it! I've been doing it wrong. Yeah, so I was just like, hard, like cannot breathe, like that was the panic.
Like you really cannot breathe.
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
You die. I'm dead. It's just like you need to like try to make yourself breathe normally, which is really hard. You're just like in a panic mode, and like nothing is happening, but you're like just kind of. Yeah, I remember it was very weird, because I never had panic attacks until like I moved here. But I also think the weather makes it harder, because it's like darker sooner, and like and also being like a foreign in like, because I don't feel like people are great here, but some people are not, and like there's more. It feels like weird. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's how panic attacks were. But luckily after that, after that episodes of that time, I didn't have more.
So that's the only time you had?
Like I have several for like a period of time, and then they went away, and then I did have one recently, but it was okay.
Normally, how long it lasts?
It doesn't last long. It doesn't last long. If like I know how they are, because I had them. So every time that I feel like it's happening, because you can feel it, you just like try to like chill. Sit down. Like have water is always really good. So just have water, or maybe like take a bath or whatever. So that helps. And then I just like talk to my therapist. I'm like, I need to have a session, and let's like do this. And then Thank God for therapy.
So for how long you have been doing therapy?
I started when I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah, did you go to therapy?
Yeah, like since 3 years ago.
That's it? Since 2 years? That's
yeah, because I live in China. We don't.
You guys don't have therapy there? A little bit?
We don't go seek medical advice until we are dying. So
nice.
Life is harsh there.
Yeah, I feel you're better off here, right? Like
Yeah.
a little bit cool. Yeah, I started when I was 16. I needed like therapy when I was 13. I think I was like a bit sad. And I was telling my mom, like, I think I need to go to therapy. And like, Argentina, it's amazing for therapy.
Really?
Yeah, super open. Everyone goes to therapy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a big issue. But my mom didn't want me to go so early. Like, when I was 13, I was like, I think I really need to go. And she's like, no.
How do you know you need to go to therapy at the age of 13?
I was like, I need to talk to someone. Things are not like I have some trauma when I was like younger, and I needed to like deal with it, and I felt like I needed like someone that who was a professional.
Okay.
Like my mom was not doing like that or anything, and just like I needed like that space. And then she's like, no, you're not going to do this, because I think she was like very reserved about it. Like she didn't. I think it was more about me being very getting wrong ideas or something. Like I don't know. She didn't like. Anyway, she agreed for me to go when I was 16, so I have to wait. So 3 years of me going a bit cuckoo.
So young girls, so like when I was young, I said, I hope I'm 16, then I can kiss someone or something. You're like, 3 more years, I can go see a therapy.
I mean, I also wanted to have sex, but like therapy was also it was therapy or sex. Yeah, I went to therapy. It was like the psychoanalysis, you know, like when you just talk and they listen.
Yeah.
So it was not very like it was okay. So in Argentina, the health, mental health, it's kind of like you go to an interview with someone, and then they tell you which professional goes with you and what you want.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's like fortune teller.
Yeah, but they go to university. Yes, you got this therapy. Yeah, so it's very well prepared. So after this one that I had, I was after 2 years, I was like, I'm done with it. And it's funny because when you're like 16, when you're a teenager and you go to this doctor, the doctor also has your parents also go to the thing. So she tells them what, like, how is my blah blah blah, and then I go. Anyway, and then I changed to another one, and she's amazing. She was so amazing, and it's different. It's like cognitive. Like I don't know how to say.
What's the difference?
So this one is like more a conversation. So I talk and she talks, blah blah blah. It feels more natural, and like there's also tasks. Like she asked me like, what things you want to work with, like or to like make better of.
So it's more like the wiser, like.
Yeah, like a little bit. And I think in that time, because I think I was doing it when I was like 18 or 19, I was very insecure, and so I was like always looking for a lot of like, is this okay? It is like, I don't know, like, yeah, because I was very unsure. I think,
maybe you just like to ask for consent.
Yeah, is this okay? Anyway, after 2 years, we had a fight. It was like the stupidest fight.
You fight with your therapist?
Yeah, but it was so dumb. It was like I lied. I was like I fell asleep and I was late for the appointment. And so basically, I told my mom to lie. Oh no, I hope she doesn't see this. Anyway, so yeah, I told her, please tell her that I feel sick. Then and blah blah blah. And then she did, but my mom is a bad liar, so so of course my therapist didn't believe it, and so I went to the therapy the next day, whatever, and then she was like, you have to pay for the appointment that you didn't come, and I was like, okay, but it was like, I don't know, it was a weird, because I could feel like she knows that I lie. It was like this weird thing. Anyway, so after that I didn't go anymore. So after 2 years of that, I didn't go anymore.
Just because one appointment?
Yeah, it was so stupid. It was so dumb. Anyway, I stopped, and then I had like not really good relationships with dudes, like it was shit, but I think mentally I was fine, I guess, except for all the the abuse that I was getting from dudes. Yeah, because like the culture is very like jealousy and whatever, and they're very possessive. So I had like a very bad relationship, which he was like kind of like almost getting physical. So I was like, I went out of that feeling like very shaky.
What do you mean shaky?
Like I don't know, like that I needed to rebuild the confidence that I kind of lost in that thing. And then I moved here, and then here I tried to start therapy, which is like super hard here because it's like, I don't know, you just have to Google, just Google therapy. It's like, and I went to the therapist, and she was like a bit older, which I was like, okay, but she lived abroad. So I was like, okay, maybe she gets how I feel, right? And then I was saying that I'm annoyed of like these German's websites. I don't know if it, like, that they put English option. So you put the English option to understand, but it's not in English. Like half of it is in English and then the other half is in German, and you're like, what the fuck? So I was telling this to her, and she was like, but you are in Germany. And I was like, I know, that's not the point. Anyway, so I didn't go to that one. I was like, fuck you, but in a good way. I was like, bye. So I reconnected with my old therapist, basically.
From here.
So I didn't have her number. I had to like find her on Facebook, which is the creepiest thing. It's like, yeah, I'm your old like patient. So I was like, hey, can we maybe start or something through Skype? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, she relocated to Brussels, so we are in the same time zone, and I could just like transfer the money to her account. Cause
how much you pay for that?
25 euros per session, which is nothing.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. And to be honest, she's amazing because sometimes when I cannot afford it, she lets me not afford it, like pay it, and like,
wow.
Yeah. Because she's like, she really wants me to be okay. So I'm like, this is great. But I do feel like it's important to pay. Because what she's doing is an important service.
Yeah.
I wish I was not that poor. To be honest, I wish I was not broke. So yeah, that's my...
So how long you've been seeing her again?
Again? Like I want to say 1 year and a half or something again. But it's on and off, like maybe twice a month or something. When something is like really bothering me, I'm like, we need to have a session. It's usually about boys because I don't understand them. It's nothing about something that's major. But right now, like last year, it was more like, because all of this shit, I think life got very difficult.
Yeah, what bothers you the most last year?
Last year? Last year, what was it? I think a lot of things that were happening were not in my control because no one had control about. Yeah, I was trying to travel. I couldn't travel. Like, I went to Argentina back. I had to come early, and like I wanted to do comedy. I couldn't do it. Like all the stuff that like the liberties that we usually take for granted were not there. And also, I was like seeing this guy, and it was not a comfort kinda. So it's like. There was not a lot of comfort in my life in that moment, so I think that made me a bit like. But my therapist was there. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
At least she's there.
At least she's there. Yeah. Now she's in Argentina. Oh, it's nice. Yeah. How was your last year for you? Is it better now? Is it like?
Last year I had for the majority time I had really great.
Good for you.
Yeah, because I like working from home. Also because I have the luxury to have a big apartment and we have a office room. I work together with my boyfriend and my dog, so it's just really nice. And professional wise, I achieved quite a lot, and it gave me lots of confidence.
Cool.
But at the end, something happened. So in November, I had a big breakdown. Then
Did it just happen? Were you just doing or something trigger it?
I think it already have something like there's something already went quite not so good for the first half a year, and I kind of found a avoidance mechanism to go work on something else, and I really enjoyed this something else. Then something happened, knock me back to reality. I have to go back to my old job, which I don't like, and I'm like it's like you already stopped fucking someone, and you already made a clear breakup, and then suddenly the society force you to go back together. It's just disgusting. Like, yes, I didn't kill myself when I was at that job, but I already moved myself out. I already made a closure, and now making me to go back to that job, I will kill myself. So I just cannot tolerate it. And it's just so much stress and anxious, and also the trigger which put me back to that situation was also very unpleasant. So two things combined is just too much, and my mind was swing like a spin like a crazy. I went like a totally manic. At the end, my doctor just told me take some time off, and and I've been out of work since then.
Yay! But I think doctors here are very willing to give you time off when you're that's a good thing about being here. Like they're like, okay, if you have a meltdown, let's like cut you slack and let's get. Yeah, I think these situations of like not having a choice, like getting pulled. Like I feel like a lot of people are doing things right now because they don't have a choice.
Yeah. So I think that the fact I have a choice is really a privilege, and I think it's a privilege for most people cannot afford. In our countries, I think most Chinese people, like probably how I feel is how they feel for majority of their life, but there's just no choice to change, no choice to take a break, and I think it's. I love the healthcare system here. It's amazing, and I do feel in long term the society overall can save money, because I had a meltdown 3 years ago, a depression. I took 1 year off.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of money from the system, but eventually I found a better job. I got paid like 40% more.
Wow.
And I started to do comedy, and now I'm also doing lots of mental health shows to help others. So I think overall, I think in long term I can create more values for the society if I'm not a psycho.
No, you're not. Just saying. Maybe you should put a sign. I'm not a psycho. No, she gave me food. She's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's good to talk about this stuff. I remember like when I was moving here, my German boyfriend at the time was like, don't tell people. Because in Argentina it's so common to go to therapy that I was like, if you go to Argentina, if you're talking about like, I'm sad or whatever shit, people will be like, oh, go to therapy. Just do it.
Why is it so common there?
I don't know. I think well, America is very like prone therapy. Like we are very connected to like that kind of culture. So and I also like went to uni to be a psychologist. I didn't want to be a psychologist. I wanted to be a psych therapist. But like I had to do a psychology or being a doctor, and I was like, I think psychology is easier. So like do that. So I went to uni because of that, and I just did 2 years, and I dropped it. But there's so many so many therapists in Argentina. It's just like, it's another thing. I think, it's so hard for us to deal with. It's so stressful because it's like we always like are struggling. So, and everything's changing all the time. That it's you need it or you go. I was surprised when I moved here that there were so many people for me to like, there were so many people speaking alone in the streets. Like a lot of people that were not mentally stable on the streets, and I was surprised because we don't have that there. Like
really?
Yeah, because a lot of people go to therapy.
But how about homeless people?
Yeah, I guess so. But I feel like there's way more here. Or there's like people like drinking like alcohol at 9 a.m., which is like, I mean, it's clear that you have a problem. But it's very normalized kind of here. So and it wouldn't happen the same in Argentina. I feel I was like surprised because I've always felt like Europe is like a step forward, but I feel like in mental health, I'm just like living like what I'm seeing here is a bit like it's harder to get the care that you need.
And I think, I'm not sure if it's true, but I feel it's also not only the care, but also the social connections. I have a Argentina friend. He said in Argentina people all talk with each other, and you talk with your neighbor, you talk with people in the supermarket, and this also is really good for your mental health. But in Western society, especially at least the cities I lived, people don't really talk, and it's very lonely.
Yeah, I think we are very talky. I was like there in March last year, and I just okay. This is the one thing I don't like. Then when you take a taxi, just the taxi drivers just like ask you a bunch of questions. It's like a non-stop talk. Whatever, like it's the worst. And they ask you like the most like invasive questions, like, so are you single, are you married, are you like, I'm like, yeah, I'm married, I have 3 kids, which is not true, but like I was like, fuck, get off my chest. Anyway, yeah, sometimes it's a bit extreme, but I do feel like, yeah, there's a more talkative thing. So when I moved here, my ex or my boyfriend at the time was like, don't tell people that they should go to therapy because it's not so open here. And I was like, maybe it should. I think, well, people come from so many different places to Berlin, the city that we live in, that it's the sensitivities are different. So something that it will be easier for me to say, hey, you're like being a bit like dramatic, maybe there's something going on, you want to chat, or do you want to look for professional help. It's you have to be careful.
I think here, like now I see therapy for 2 years now. I really think most people could benefit of seeing them to how to process their emotions and to deal lots of traumatic experience. But I think for normal people, they still think, oh, therapy is for someone who's really, really sick, like for like depressed people who cannot get out of bed. So if you tell them, oh, maybe it's a therapist, they think, oh, it's an insult. But actually, I think almost everyone could see one.
I mean, I think therapy, it is helpful for everyone, especially right now. If you start therapy for the first time, just like to get to the right therapist, and if it doesn't happen the first time, just know that there's going to be the right therapist for you. Just keep trying. Just don't get discouraged, because
I think it's easy to say when you know how it works, but for those people who never experienced it, it's hard. And I think the society, lots of people also have very wrong image or stereotype about therapy. For example, my brother-in-law, he's like 21 years old, and he have such strong belief that therapy is pretentious, and it's fake, and it's stupid. And but I asked him, why you have this like image, you never been to one, like why you believe it? And lots of people, I think they don't understand what is real judgment and what is stereotype. And then two things blending together, at some point they just think what they saw on TV, what they think they understand something while they have no idea about what it is.
There's a great therapy TV show. I don't know if you know it. In Therapy, it's called. It has been made. This series, it has been made in a lot of countries. I think it originally is from Israel, and it's just like the whole episode is 1 hour, so it's the one session. So every episode is with a different patient, and it's the same. But everything that happens, or like what you know about the characters, is only what you know in the therapy session. So it's very like interesting for a TV show.
But is it staged or?
Well, no, it's like basically the therapist, and then the patient comes to. I mean, yeah, it's a fictional. It's not a real session.
Okay.
But it's like, I feel like if you want to know about, it's like a good thing to watch this.
Do you think it's realistic?
Yeah, I do. I felt it was realistic. And I think with therapy, I think you have to understand it's like it's not a magic pill or whatever. Like, it's just like a place that you have that you can talk, like your words can come out. There's someone to receive them, and then they mark what they think this could be a good thing to work on like. But you do the work.
Yeah, I think that's also interesting. Now we both been through. We think it's a non-brainer. Of course, you should do the work, but for those people who never been to therapists, they don't understand. I remember 3 years ago when I was like totally depressed. I have a friend. She's from Brazil, and she told me that when she had a heart broken, she went to see a therapy. She wants to get that guy, and the therapist told her the point is not to get that guy. And she's like, if you cannot help me to get that guy, why I need you? And at that time, I also thought, yeah, it's crazy. Like, why you would pay someone if she cannot even help you to get the guy?
But I'm sorry, but like anything that is out of you, because if like you're just I think it. I think she addressed it wrong a little bit, because it's not about getting. It's an extra person, so you don't know what the other person is living. So there's nothing that you can. I feel like you can change to make that person. I don't know.
So I think that what I talk about is that a common misconception for some people that they thought therapy is about changing you than for you to achieve a goal which you are obsessed to. But in reality, it's more about for you to accept the reality and see the other side, realizing, I really love this guy, I want this guy, but I get rejected. The real goal is that to realize, it's not a big deal, and when it doesn't work, it's fine, I can move on.
I think what it has helped me to be in therapy when I'm in relationships or whatever, it's just like, because I think I get in a place where like I really don't understand men. I just don't like sometimes people in general I don't get them, or like, because I think you see people with like your own glasses in certain ways, so it's like anything that comes. And I do feel like I have a negative kind of way of like sometimes I perceive people. Because I feel like in Argentina you have to be you don't trust people, so you always feel like, okay, you're talking to me, but what do you want? Like, what is it that you want from me, right?
Yeah.
So instead of like being like, this is a nice conversation, she doesn't want anything, just wants to like get to know me, it's a nice thing, right? No. So with guys, I'm always like, does he like me? I don't know. He's doing this. And like my therapist is like, yeah, he likes you. He's liking you. Stop being so. And then and it's kind of funny. So she helps me to like see that.
So you have some like a trust issue?
No, I don't think it's I don't know. Is it? I think it's. I think no. This is what my therapist told me the other day. I don't have a trust issue or whatever. I have I see things negatively. So she's like that phrase, like always see the glass half. I see it half empty all the time. So it's just like that's how I see things.
Do you have all this little voice in your mind?
Do you hear voices?
like a negative voice in your mind?
I not so much. Like I remember when I started doing comedy. So I'm a comedian. I didn't say that. So when I started doing comedy, it was so strong. This voice that I have, it was like insane. It was like you don't have anything to say. Everything that you say is stupid. Like it was very like I couldn't do comedy because it was so strong. But just because like I was raised in a country that very misogynistic, very sexist. So when I was like growing up, everything that I said, people were like, "Shut up! You don't have anything to say." So it just came from that. So I had to comedy really helped me to be strong, like to just it's dead. Like that voice is dead. Everything that I say, I was like, this has a meaning. My voice is like I heard like I'd be like witness of people saying so many bullshit and like stupid things. So I'm like I don't know like that. So yeah.
And if the voice was so strong at the beginning, what support you to continue to do comedy?
Because I was like, every time that I did it, it just became a bit easier. So the voice became less strong, and so And also like in comedy, you get the feedback. So it's like if people laugh, you're doing a good job. So the boys cannot be like you did a bad job, because it's like it's right. I did a good job, so shut up. So it's like just it's just like to kill that voice, because if that voice is not real, it's just, you know. So now I don't. So it's kind of nice, because every time that I do a project, like that voice is not there. I'm like I can do this. I can just like it's just re-educate it.
Yeah, I think comedy for me it's very similar. It's just proof for myself that what I thought was not true, because I also deal with this negative. I see myself very harsh, and but with comedy, because there's this immediate feedback, laughter cannot lie. So every time I just remember how. Every time, sometimes I feel like very beating myself down. I'm like, I'm not funny, I'm not talented or whatever. And then I was like, wait a moment, no, they were laughing. So the reality in my mind get twisted. But because of the laughter, I kind of recorrect it to make it a bit more aligned with reality. I think this immediate feedback is very good.
Yeah, I think sometimes a lot of people are very disconnected with themselves or like what they're doing. And with comedy, I feel like you have to be aware. There's so many people that they are on stage and they're not aware of what they are saying, and like they're not really making a joke. I don't know, they're making fun of people and not really making a joke about whatever. But I feel like because we are, I don't know if you feel this, but I feel like as being a woman, I'm so in the, like people are looking at me in some sort of way. Like from the beginning, like they're like commenting on how you look or like how you talk or how you act or whatever. So you're like very, so it's like getting rid of all of that and like being very aware of like this is who I am and I don't give a shit. It's also like a mental state that it's really hard to achieve, and I feel like comedy helps. But there's always a lot of people that wanna bring you down, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe that's the voice again. I don't think anyone would look at Julieta and say, I really want to bring her down. How can I do that?
I think, I don't think people want to do that, but I feel that people have a tendency sometimes. Don't you feel sometimes that if you see someone super confident, you want to say something? I mean, it doesn't happen to me, but I do feel sometimes people want to say something to maybe it's, I don't know, it happened to me, like I was doing this comedy show and like someone said that I was funny, and some other, well, he was an idiot, but he was saying, yeah, he said that you were funny because you're a woman.
Yeah, he's just.
So that, like that, not something. It's not like it happens to me all the time, but sometimes I feel like. But yeah.
I think what you said about at the beginning, people have expectation on your look or whatever. I think I had a identity crisis too. When I started to do comedy, I was wearing like a really sexy dress, and I had like a white wig on me, and I wasn't me because I was scared. And then after a while, I realized at the end of the day, like people will judge if I look good or not only if I give it a fuck. And after a while, I just stopped giving a fuck, and I wear whatever, and I don't use my look. I don't care how I look like, or more like I because I so not care about how I look like. So I can send a very strong signal to my audience. I don't give a fuck. That's my style. I don't give a fuck, and that make me feel way more comfortable on stage. But I do feel some female comedians they care a lot, and probably they judge themselves way more than the audience.
I do feel like we have it more difficult because like there's less because it's so male populated comedy. I think it's harder to get to the place that you want to be.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, what rules do I play? Do I care about my looks? Do I do this? So there's like, if you see a male comedian, it's like do you ever shower? Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, do you cut your pubes? Like, do you do anything to look good? And it's so funny because we are more conscious because that's how the society is. But I do believe, like, in Berlin, it's a very easy. I don't know how it's in China, but in Argentina, the women have to look a certain way, like look, and in Berlin it's a bit like more chill.
Yeah. In China, it's crazy.
Yeah?
It's really crazy.
Is it like plastic surgery, like a thing?
Like, and also like China is very homogeneous. So on TV, everyone look the same. They look the same. Like they literally have like a institute. They in charge of making plastic surgery to everyone. So every a few years, people, the celebrities, their face all change to the same style.
Wow.
And everyone needs to be slim. Anyone need to be really pale, and like the way they behave, and especially for female, people always put such a big magnificent glass to. Women should be perfect. They cannot have any fault, otherwise people will destroy you. And it's just so stressful to live in a society like that. And also, women are not supposed to be outspoken. Women are not supposed to have any history. Like, even it's ridiculous. People who's on TV, like a reality show, whatever. People who's on TV is 35 years old, who never married. They cannot admit they are not virgin. They just don't talk about it, and they like imply they are virgin. And I was like,
you're 60. I don't think you're. That's funny.
I think it's very very stressful. It's a very stressful environment for women.
Yeah.
Here it's very free.
Yeah, I think it's a bit chill. Yeah, that's a bit easier to be here, and like people being like, okay, they don't expect. But I do believe there's still a macho culture in Germany, but it's like it's a bit more subtle. So it's like, oh, is it here? I mean, yeah, we still have like 20% gap pay or whatever. I know that this is a health, a mental health like a podcast, but it was like, let's talk about the thing. So yeah, I know that we get less money, and yeah, it's going to take a while. And also, I feel like that also helped, like, you know, being like less financially available, like or like sufficient. It's also like makes your mental health a little bit like stressful. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I come to Europe really really poor because my family using the money in China to support me here.
Wow.
So the first 6-7 years was extremely hard. Like every day, if I buy something more than €2, I need to calculate. I need to go to different shops to really get the best deal. Like eating in the canteen for lunch is like €3.
So you came to study here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the eating in canteen is €3, and I would just go home, cook something, and go back to maybe save like €1.50, something like that. So I think at that time you just don't have time, have energy, have mental capacity to think about your mental health, because if you think then you freak out because everything is shit, and there's just not you just need to power through.
Yeah.
And I think that's in my case. I powered through, but now look back on my timeline. As soon as I powered through, I finished my study, I find a job, I get my visa done, then I broke down. Yeah.
It's funny, you can breathe and you go like, oh my god, it's been because I felt when I had my meltdown like 5 years ago, everything was like that. But I feel like the way that I went out of it is when I started to do. I got myself super busy. Like I was working 60 hours per week. I was like just. I didn't have a life, like a social life. I was just like working, like going to bed. Like I just didn't think. I mean, it was maybe what I needed at the time. Not maybe the best healthy thing, because it's like not good to I don't know, to overwork just not to think. but I think in that moment kind of saved me to like be okay. There's no time to think. So, but then I think with time you need to like address the problems that led you to that, right?
I think what you mentioned made me realize like to be able to look at your own mental health is really a privilege. Because you cannot tell someone who's really deep in shit, say look at your own problem, especially if they have financial struggle, then they can really cannot stop. If they stop their flow to sometimes they just need to shut down all their emotions.
I was like studying I was also like I'm a hairdresser as well. I have a lot of like things that I do, and I learning in the school, in the hair salon school, I don't know how you say it, that you can like if you are like very stressed or whatever, you actually lose hair. You can have like bald spots. And I was like in Argentina, I was in the train, and this guy like asked for money because there's always like people asking for money because he's so poor. And I gave him money. He didn't look at me. We didn't make eye contact, but I was just looking at him because he was so young. And then he was like going away, and then he had like all these like bald spots because like he was stressed about money and whatever. And I was like, oh my god, like, and I cannot give him more. I cannot help him more. But yeah, like people that we have the privilege that we can actually get the help that we need.
I think in China, there's in this generation, there's more people start to look in mental health, especially with social network. They are in the past there's only one voice because the media are controlled by the state, so they decide what to report or what to not. But now with social media, there's more people, they can also have write some articles or whatever. So now there's more talks about mental health. But I remember 10 years ago or 12 years ago, my mom have a friend who has a daughter who have depression, and the way they talk about it is like it's like AIDS. Like it's really secret and it's really negative way, and the way they talk about it feels like, oh, this person is gone. There's no hope in this person. So it's very stressful. So in my mom's generation, I think no one has dealt with mental health, and that's why they just get old really fast.
Yeah, I'm happy that we live in the time that we live, that it's mainstream, like getting into therapy and like. And now it's getting more talk about like, and you know, like how we use words, because I think people are always like using words about like, oh, she's being crazy, like people are more comfortable in using those words, and yeah, I'm happy that I mean, it's always like with mental health, it's always good to know that there's a good end to it. Like it's not that you're like in the hole and you're like, oh, this is not. You always get help, and you always can like get through it, and you always learn. I feel like I'm very happy that from that breakdown I could just like get from it, like, and I'm happy all the stuff that I live from, like, and I learn. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
I think time is really like getting better. For example, now there are more and more media production, like movies, films, comedy specials about mental health. People, the conversation is
different.
And that's really great, and people can see example. Is especially also for this podcast, like imagine like 30 years ago, if there's a teenager who's depressed, they how isolated they must have been felt. But right now they can just go on internet and they can find tons of example of people talking about it, especially those people who has been through it. And knowing that there are so many people been through it and they live a okay life, then the disease itself doesn't feel so scary anymore.
Yeah, I do feel like here people do. Still, people are like, when you ask them if they're okay, they will say, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm great," and you're like, "Are you sure?" I don't know. And yeah, still like people are not super. Like it's not like they're going to open, but I did feel like in Berlin with my friends, when I was saying I'm not feeling great, some people like kind of walk away, like kind of way. Like I feel like maybe I am. Well, this is my sister, for instance. Like she didn't walk away from me, but she kind of like didn't talk to me because she was like, I need to like protect my mental health or like my.
Is she really your sister?
Yeah, she's my sister. Yeah, but she's like, she deals with things very differently. Like she doesn't talk. I talk a lot. I like the one that talks in the family. And I'm always like, we need to talk about this. And my sister is like, she takes her time alone. I think she learned how to be alone and like deal with this shit. But yeah, she's like, I do feel like that people maybe like wanna protect themselves because maybe we're all living the same.
No, I that's really. It feels sad when you like talking about it is kind of a signal for looking for help and someone just walking away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think everyone is prepared to give you exactly what you need. Like it's hard. Like, I mean, I do have really good people around me and the people that listen to me, and thank God I have my therapist. But yeah, like not everyone in your life will be. Like we all have the mental capacity to help you, so you have to be aware of that and not get frustrated. I guess.
Yeah. So through all the time you dealing with your anxiety, breakdown, meltdown, whatever, what's the biggest thing you learned?
What if I didn't learn anything? Nothing. I didn't learn anything. Bye. What do I learn? I want to say that I learned to be a bit more chill. I want to say that I learned to be, even though like right now it's kind of like difficult. But yeah, I learned how to ask for help a bit better, I guess. I think, yeah.
Now how do you ask for help?
I'm just like, can we talk or like have a conversation? Like I almost like kind of, and I'm like always relying on my family a little bit more. Like, and now I have the space of therapy, so that's there. And I try to like examine situations a bit different. Like I think a thing that always like it makes me a bit unstable wherever our relationships. I think because there's a lot of things we cannot control with relationships. It's out of us. Like we can put our best effort. But there's other people involved. They are in different, maybe in you don't know. So that's the anxiety. And I'm always trying, like, know what you want and, like, how you want to be treated. And, like, it's always, like, it's, like, trial and error. But, like, I think I learned how to deal with those situations a bit better than before.
In your culture, is there an expectation that a woman should not be single? Like, should be with someone?
Well, it's funny you say it. Yes, I think, if you talk with my grandma, I mean, every time that I talk to her, she's like...
You're not married.
I mean, I was married. Yes. But now I'm trying to get divorced.
Oh, you are still married?
Yes.
With whom?
My German dude.
Oh, yeah. So you married him not even for visa? You have an Italian visa?
No, but that happened before. So yeah, I did marry for papers in some point, but like... I mean, we were together. We were a couple, and we wanted to be together. So it makes sense for us. I was very happy to be married to him, and then not.
How long you were married?
I mean, we've been married since 2012.
Oh, the first German boyfriend you were
So it's been a while. It's a good marriage. It's going strong.
And then when you decided to
separate?
Yeah.
Some years in the road of that, like, yeah, I just decided, but we're still like good. It's good that we are good to each other and like we care about each other still. So I'm like really happy that we are not really bitter or anything. So yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
Was it hard the separation?
A little bit. I think it's funny because like now we were like maybe starting doing the divorce thing, and it made him and it made me surprisingly very sad, even though we're not being together for a couple of years now, and it's just like it's funny because it's like it feels more than a paper. Also, when I got married, it felt more than be like a paper, and also now that I'm getting maybe divorced, like it feels more than a paper. So yeah, that's marriage. But now I'm Italian.
Oh, you married him to become Italian?
No. No, I found out my Italian heritage paperwork, and then I started to because the thing is with my visa I had to like renew it every year, blah blah, every 3 years or something, and I just like, and then I could do the exam to be German, but I was like, but I want to be Italian, and like so it just happened. It was very easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Why it took you quite a few years to get divorced?
Well, I guess because Germany, the divorce is different than other places. So in other places you have you pay this. This is what you pay, and in Germany it doesn't work like that. It depends on how much money you make. So for a bunch of time, I mean, I think we didn't care. Like he didn't care, I didn't care. It didn't change our lives. But I think now he wants to start maybe a family, or I don't know, or there's someone else, and it will make sense to just put that. Because also for paperwork reasons, like if I ask for anything to the state, I have to present his papers, and I have to say we're separated. Like I have to give more paperwork, so it makes sense to just like do it. But it costs a lot of money. That's why we're not doing it.
Why it costs lots of money to divorce?
In Germany?
Yeah.
Because it's like it just they make like a because you need a lawyer, and then they make a calculation about how much you earn, and that's how much it costs the lawyer to pay, and then you have the court fees, so that's another amount of money.
So you cannot just go somewhere and say I divorce.
No, like let's say in Argentina it will be super easy. Like I think you just have to pay some fees or whatever, but it's very like this is what you pay always, and here it's just like so it's around like maybe 1,000 something, and just like so much money. Yeah, and now it's been hard, but like I think it's a good thing that
I hope it can work.
Yeah. So yeah, there's I do feel like there's an expectation to go out with guys. Like I always had a boyfriend when I was growing up. Like since I'm 18, I always been like, because there was because it's dangerous there, and my parents are very misogynistic and sexist, even though they don't know. So the only way that I could leave the house if I had a boyfriend.
Wow.
I mean, I could leave the house alone, but they will be asking where are you going, and it will be uncomfortable. Like if I say like I'm going out with my boyfriend, they will like okay, fine, have fun. If I go out alone, they will be like, where are you going? What time? You have your cell phone? Like what? It's really hard. Like it was really hard. So I always had a boyfriend, and actually that made me not develop the things that I need to develop, like my self-confidence, or like being very aware of like making people more important, like other people more important than what I needed. You know, like making sure someone is okay instead of me being okay. And that really, and at the end, being in Germany, it's kind of easier to be single in Berlin. And I've been like alone for a while, and like I think I got to know myself a bit better, and that. But it's also like I feel like when you need to be with someone, it's nice to be with someone.
I think it's a bit blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's. But it's okay.
Yeah. I think it will be nice to like when you wanna be with someone, you could be with someone, but it takes time as well. So it's kind of like, yeah.
What's your challenge of dating in Berlin?
My challenge to actually find a date. No, I think the thing that I'm more realizing now, so many dudes, because I date dudes. They have so much like they always put a break. Like they're always like, this is okay. I don't want a relationship. I don't want a girlfriend. I was like, I'm always like, can you just relax? Can you just like look? It could be that you get to know me and we are not good for each other. So you don't have to say like I don't want it. Like if you don't know me, so we could just get to know each other and see how it goes. But like a lot of people I notice here that like, in that kind of mental space. And I found it so odd because I will always give someone the benefit of the doubt. And like if I was like I'm not looking for a boyfriend, fine, whatever. But if I meet someone that actually goes with me, it could work. But it's funny that the thing is always like a no.
Yeah.
That very negative kind of way.
Yeah,
of
I think
starting.
Berlin is very like this. I think people here are spoiled. Because there are so many kinky people doing all those like open relationship or whatever, and it kind of also feel like like cool to say that. But at the end, I think it's very superficial. Lots of people just go on short dates all the time. And I even know some people, they start with good intention, like they just want to meet someone and see how it goes. But after being on Tinder for 1 year, 2 years, they become just jerks. No, women, men, both. Like after on this pool, it's very toxic because people ghost you, you ghost people, and
I think ghosting is bad. Please don't do ghosting. I got ghosted once in my whole life. I never been ghosted, thank God. And then this guy goes
only once.
Can you believe it? Actually, like, it's funny because always my ex-boyfriends come back to me, like, maybe not to have a relationship again, but like to be like, I want you in my life because you're great. So yeah, I got ghosted once, and I was like, what is this? This is horrible. This is like the worst thing ever. Because I had to like make a lot of, because you cannot talk, the other person doesn't want to talk to you for whatever reason. Usually it's because they're idiots. And you're processing all this stuff by yourself. And I just was reading a lot about ghosting, and it's like, this is the same, it has the same effect in your body that physical pain. So let's say someone punched you in the stomach, is this, you are feeling that. So it's kind of like, it was very bad. So I wish, but the thing is, because there's this idea of like Tinder or the apps, all the stuff that you have, that there's a million of options, and there's and you're just an option. You're not a person. You're gonna like something that you could just.
I think ghosting is really, really bad. Now I know the word ghosting, but a few years ago I didn't know. I didn't know the word. And then I was dating someone. I thought everything went great, and we were like meeting very often. And we also arranged the next date already. And then suddenly this person just stopped replying to me and just disappeared.
Wow.
And at the beginning I was worried.
How many dates you had with this person?
I think maybe like in 2 weeks we met like 5 times.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and at the beginning I was just worried about him.
Yeah, of course.
Then I started to realize he's ghosting me. I didn't know the word. I started realize he just ignored me. Then I started to rethink all over again what I did wrong. The signals doesn't align, and you internalize lots of this thing, and it just fuck up with your mental health. And also like, it's so hard in Berlin to meet someone you connect, and there's someone like you. Obviously something must have been gone wrong, but at that time I thought, we met 5 times in 2 weeks, and we always arrange the next date, and we didn't have sex. It's just lots of talk, and really nice, we did lots of different stuff, and then this person suddenly ignores you. I think, what went wrong? I internalized lots of things, lots of doubts, like fucked up with my mental health. Then I think it took me like more than 1.5 years to really realize, it's not my fault. Maybe I was superficial. Maybe we didn't really connect. Maybe I thought we connect, but for him it's boring. But it's not my fault that he disappeared, because if he's a nice person, he could at least say, let's not continue.
It's so easy. It's so easy to make someone not to have that pain. And it's such a terrible thing that we are in this era right now, where it's I can just like not talk to you anymore, whatever, who cares. And it's like, no, you're causing pain on someone. And you can just send like little short messages and say, hey, you're great, but like it's not going to work out, and thank you, but, and that's it. And you didn't have to like 1.5 years deal with this pain, you know what I'm saying? It's I feel like we're losing connection.
I think you are getting a bit emotional now.
No, what?
No, you look really like sympathetic.
No, because by the way, I don't cry that easily, but like I just feel like it's kind of sad. Yeah, it's kind of sad that this is a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to prevent.
Yeah.
It's just like talk.
And I think I understand if if we went on one date and you never contact me again, then I understand it's a rejection.
Yeah, because you felt a connection.
Yeah.
You for 5 dates, it's enough. Like,
yeah. And then it took me 1.5 years realize, oh, he's just irresponsible, not a nice person.
It's ghosting is more about the other person that's doing it. It's just about the other person.
And it took me 1.5 years to realize that, but I realized for lots of girls, when it's their first time to experience it, they go through my past again. Even if you tell them, I have a girlfriend, she had a similar thing, and the guy is just very nice, pay for nice dinner, and they went on date like 2-3 times. Then suddenly the guy just stopped replying to her, and she internalized this so much, and she has such a bad mood swing or whatever. Then I just tell her, this guy stopped replying to you because he met someone or he's busy dating someone else. He changed his mind. It's not your fault. And this girl would argue with me, angry at me, yelling at me, saying, "No, you don't understand him. He's not a guy like that." I was like, then why?
It is. It is. It's a very it's not a brave move. It's a very selfish and shitty move, because the other person doesn't leave the other person already did the click. But it didn't tell you that this is happening. So what you were trying to say with this podcast, don't ghost, don't be a piece of garbage.
I think ghosting is bad, but the worst is breadcrumbs.
What is that?
It's like
is there something else?
It's a saying. So people ghost you, they just disappear from your life. But breadcrumb is that they are very hot with you for a while, then suddenly they are cold, they leave you there wondering what's happening, and then after a while they
come back,
contact you a little bit, make you have your little hope again. They give you a little bit of nice things, say a few nice sentences, or go on a nice date with you, then they are distant again, and they just go away, come back, go away, come back, and many times last for very long.
To strangle you alone, get it. Very horrible. Stop, guys. Can you guys stop?
I think women do that too.
Cool. Yeah. No, I mean guys in general. I mean folks, people. Stop doing this.
I think lots of people now they say, oh, I eat ethically. I am vegan, or I only eat high quality meat. I think people should also date ethically, have some code of conduct or something. I think in Berlin, because there are so many players, they have this bad ethical conduct. I think the whole dating market, from what I heard, is very bad.
Yeah, not a fan.
I'm already out of dating market for 3 years, but at that time it was already very bad.
I'm sorry for you. Sorry. No, I'm still in that market.
do you think comedy helped with your dating life?
If comedy helped me, I don't think so. I mean, when I do finish a comedy show, I don't feel people approach me. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to brag, but I didn't feel like I need comedy to get guys. There was always someone in my life.
Then why are you complaining?
No, because quantity doesn't mean quality. I think comedy didn't really help my dating life, I think, but it made me more interesting maybe for other people, I guess, because it's like, oh my god. But I think it's intimidating when a girl does comedy. I think a little bit. It's like, oh, she speaks on the microphone. She has an opinion on things. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, apologizing. But yeah, no, it hasn't.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
But you are already popular, so.
Yeah. Put my Instagram.
Only follow her if you are single.
Okay.
Or open relationship.
No.
Open marriage?
No.
Okay, only single. Only single.
Only
Yeah. Monogamous single.
Yeah. We will work it out. Just follow me.
So my last question.
Ooh.
Ooh. What's your favorite comedy special?
Then you were. I don't have one. Wait, do I have one? Let me think. Because what was the last one that I watched? That I liked. I know that she's not very popular right now, but Ellen DeGeneres I really like.
Who is that?
Ellen.
Uh-huh.
Ellen.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Oh!
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I mean, when I saw it, it was like a really long time ago. Then I watched Zach Galifianakis special that I really enjoy because it's so weird. Yeah, I think that one. I will choose that one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
When it came out?
No, I think some years back, but it's on Netflix. You can totally.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah, I don't remember the. I think something in the room, like something in the room. I don't know. I'm very bad with names.
Okay. Do you watch comedy at all?
Yeah.
Why it comes so?
I was like, do I? Yes. I mean, everything that it's. I mean, I usually I like to watch female comedians. But I always feel like there's no. I'm always a bit sad because I feel like there's nothing there that represents me. There's always like these comedians that don't look like me, that they don't have the same background. They're like, whatever.
You want to talk about this?
I know. So I always feel like that's why one of the things that I wanna, even though maybe I will not become famous, even though I'm really trying, not really, but I do feel like I wanna keep doing it because I want my voice to be like, I want to represent someone that is not in the mainstream already. So I do feel like I watch more female comedians just. But man, I think men are also funny, I guess. When they want.
Sure.
Sure.
So we have some audience. Probably they are going through some mental stuff right now. Do you have something to talk with them?
Like advice, you mean, or like?
Anything.
No, just hang in there, like the cat. Just like try to get help. Maybe we can like put a number that they can call. There's like.
Your number?
No, not my number.